What is up, Ravens flock? Huge shout out for your support for the 410 Sports Talk. Chance and Glenn are the best in the business. They're killing it right now. They love talking Raven talk. Make sure you go subscribe to their channel. Let's go Ravens. Big trust.
Welcome in everyone to another episode of 410 Sports Talk. I'm Glenn Martin here with my co-host James Haskell, who is live from class, in between class. But he made a special appearance just to say I told you so, didn't you, Jimbo?
That's right. You know what we're talking about tonight? You guys have all seen the news. Veon Bell is coming to town in September. Like I said last night, look, people just got to listen to me more often. I'm just saying. You know what? And I saw a lot of people on Twitter not excited about it. Other people excited about it. A lot of people echoing your sentiments, Glenn, that it's been a long time since he's done anything. But I just, and I know that you're going to talk about, I'm assuming you're going to talk about that and touch on that because it's a valid concern. So how are you feeling now that he's a Raven?
Well, look, I mean, he's a Raven now, so he's going to get my support, but nonetheless surprised that they would make this move. I mean, I guess I shouldn't have been once he was brought in because the concern I had was his me mentality. You know, he's not a team first guy in my opinion. And so I thought that especially the last time we saw him, he was kind of bad mouthing Andy Reid, right? He was saying he would never play for Andy, and he obviously wasn't thrilled with his time there. So all the off the field stuff is why I didn't think they brought him in. So if they brought him in for a workout, they weren't bringing him in for a workout to see if the off the field stuff would clean up. They obviously were okay with that stuff. And that's why they brought him in the first place. So I guess I shouldn't have been so surprised, but he hasn't done. I mean, it's just been a long time since he's had success. And so I'm concerned there. He is 29 years old. So in running back terms, he's not the youngest guy.
Well, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Glenn. I've seen some people, this is what I want to ask you. I know the production is a concern, but I've seen some people concerned about his style, where he's not explosive at the line of scrimmage. He's not, a power back. I think all of that is bogus, in my opinion. The production like that, the overall production I can see, but going down to the style, I'm not concerned by that at all. Do you see that as something that outside of the production, but like if you separate the two, the style of his running, is that a concern? I'm using air quotes here. A concern for you to be successful in this offense?
I've always thought I liked his style. I mean, he's more methodical and allows the blockers in front of him to do their job rather than running up the back of them or overrunning their blockers and not allowing them to get in position. I kind of like his more patient style of running. So I don't have a concern in that regard. I think that he'll allow the blockers to do their job, get in front. Far too often, running backs run up the back of their blockers. They outrun their blockers. And just take them out of the play. It's obvious they're going to be faster than a lineman. So sometimes you got to put the brakes on a little bit and allow those boys to get out in front of you and do their job. And I've always kind of applauded that about his style. And obviously he's a dual threat guy, right? He's a guy that can run routes with the best of them when it comes to the running back position, or at least he used to. Still remains to be seen if he can still do it. But with him being added to the practice squad, Jimbo, how long before he's elevated to the roster?
Is there honestly, I guess I should know this, but I feel that there's not too much space in my brain right now, my simple brain. Is there a rule by determining how long he has to be on there, whether it's new because of COVID or it's been implemented for a long time? Is there a standard rule?
I don't think there is.
One, he's playing.
Wow. Okay.
Because there's no way we're going out there with two backs. There's no way.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really good point. John Harbaugh said it himself. They're a three-back team, and all three need to be active. So there's no reason to assume that he's not going to be up. And with Justice Hill going to IR, there is a spot. But, it also, doesn't he need some time to acclimate with the offense, to learn the system? Or is it just, hey, on this play, you're going to run to the right behind the tackle? Like, what is it? Is it that simple at the running back spot?
Well, no, I think that he will be up in week one, but I think his playing time will increase incrementally. So I wouldn't expect to see him a ton in week one. But I think that he'll be there because, look, if one of these guys goes down, I mean, you're running into a real issue that you got one of them left, and then you got I mean, Devin Duvernay. You got Brandon Stevens in an emergency
Pat
type
Ricard.
fashion. Yeah, Pat, exactly. So I think he'll be there, but I
Okay.
don't think he'll play a ton, and I think his playing time will incrementally increase over time. But I don't expect it to be a ton in week 1.
Yeah, and do you think his familiarity with the Kansas City Chiefs offense, being as though he was just there last season, did that
Yes,
do anything to
yes,
help get him here? Okay.
yes. Didn't you think the same thing? I mean, they did the same thing last
Absolutely.
year with who was our lineman that they picked up? There was a lineman they picked up last year,
Oh,
or the year.
yeah, there was. I'm blanking on his name, but you're right. And I think that certainly helps when do you think they already have him in the interrogation room with a
Oh
bright light in
yeah,
his face?
absolutely. I can just imagine Wink Martindale and all the coaches in there. Like, remember Meet the Parents? He's a human lie detector and he's an interrogator, just in there,
Yep.
hands on his wrists, like just interrogating him big time. Yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
I could see them figuring out as much as they can about that Andy Reid, Eric Bieniemy offense in that short period of time they have to get prepared. But I as a player, I guess he fits a lot of boxes. I mean, I think you want to have a dual threat running back as the third. He certainly brings experience. There's not a whole lot the guy hasn't seen. But it's part of me does feel a little bit bad for a guy like Tyson Williams because as much as he's been here, for a while now, he had a great camp, showed out in the preseason. I got to expect and believe that by mid-season, his role is going to be severely diminished. And I feel bad for the kid because I think he's played well enough to earn more time. But let's be honest, if Le'Veon Bell stays healthy, acclimates to this offense, he's likely going to take those snaps from Tyson.
So that's interesting that you would say that because I can totally see that. But to me, it's more of a foregone conclusion that he's going to produce. Where you've mentioned it, you're a little concerned about the fact that he hasn't produced in a number of years now. So at
Yeah,
the end of the day, I understand your point, but he still has to produce because John's not going to put a Roman's not going to put him in there just because he's Le'Veon Bell.
that's
He's
true.
got to make the most of his reps and got to continue to prove himself. So I wouldn't say Tyson is. I mean, if he's running the ball well, they're not going to take him out of the game. I just think
Right.
it's that simple, right? So I think it's still his job to lose. Now, the fact that he gets outperformed by Le'Veon Bell is certainly a possibility and potentially a likelihood. But Le'Veon has to stay healthy, get acclimated, not ruffle any feathers. There's a lot of ifs and a lot of obstacles that he still has to jump to be the true number 2 behind Gus Edwards, because it's not
Yeah.
a 1A 1B anymore. It's a 1A. It's a 1. I mean, Gus is the 1. Everyone else is fighting for 2.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I guess in summary, I'm surprised by the addition. But if you ask me who's the better player, a 29-year-old Le'Veon Bell or a 20 however old Justice Hill, Le'Veon Bell's still better than him. Has
Yep.
always been better than him. And I'm not a big Justice Hill guy. Still hope he gets back from this injury and rebounds and has a successful career. But I don't think he's a better running back now or ever than Le'Veon Bell. So in that regard, I guess I'm excited for the move. It certainly adds talent to the backfield. So yeah, I mean, surprised, but I'm okay with it. What do you think, Jimbo?
Well, I mean, I'm excited about it because I think that, as I mentioned, he will incrementally. I think he will produce. Number one, I have confidence that he will. Number
Mm-hmm.
two, this only happened because Alejandro Villanueva must have said something good about Le'Veon Bell. Because they wouldn't have done it without his stamp of approval. I don't believe. At least they certainly took it into consideration.
Mm-hmm.
And so the production, I think, will be there. And he got some sort of validation from his former teammate, and I think the motivation is there. So I think the guy's gonna have a big year. I do kind of feel bad for Tyson because to me it's more of a foregone conclusion that he'll do well. But to me, this is an Eric DeCosta solid pickup, doing the right thing and always staying out there, turning over every leaf. So I'm excited about it, man. I'm excited to see Le'Veon get in the end zone against the Steelers and do something, do the dog peeing on the fire hydrant or something,
Oh man.
right?
Well,
Whatever it is.
with those new taunting rules, I hope he doesn't go too far, or John might put him in the doghouse, which we've certainly seen players get there before. But let us know what you guys think. Are you excited about the addition of Le'Veon Bell? Are you surprised, as I am, that they brought a guy in who's had some off the field issues and had some issues with maybe he's not a team first guy? Let us know what you guys think, and we will talk soon.
See you.